It's sliding scale for those who qualify and same-day appointments available until 4 p.m. with board-certified family practice and internal medicine physicians on staff. Langley Health Services. Call today, 352-680-7000.
All right. I usually have music as an intro, but I look to my left and the computer that does that, I don't know if anybody knows it, but it just blacked out. So, well, kind of like perfect timing. Nicky Aiken is in the studio. Nicky is the park ranger at Silver Spring State Park, and we invited Nicky before these stories about the monkeys started hitting the news. And the reason we invited Nicky is, here's the reason. Because Robin and I go to Silver Spring State Park all the time. We like to go there as a place to practice our music. It is a beautiful place for us because there's a bench, there's a beautiful river. You get to see the people. You can pretend you're a tourist or whatever, and it's just so wonderful. And yet I hear some of our fellow radio people kind of bad-mouthing Silver Springs. They go, hello, it's not a theme park. It's a state park. And we had the opportunity, Robin and I, years ago. How many years ago did we do that, Robin? 5 years ago. She'll be in here in a second. So we were raising money for the Literacy Council, and we were doing painting. We were taking our easels, so we were doing plein air painting. So we visited the state parks all over the state, before Silver Springs was a state park, by the way. And we saw these beautiful state parks. The state park system in Florida is absolutely incomparable, I guess. I mean, it's just beautiful. And all these state parks are beautiful. And they all tell you, and we get to the monkey thing too, that they all tell you, this is a real world place. There are animals, don't feed them, don't touch them, and all that. It's not a theme park. It's not Mickey Mouse. It's a real mouse. And so I wanted to have somebody come in here and talk about how beautiful it is and the wonderful job that the state is actually doing, in spite of the fact that you have some of our radio friends, right, Robin?
Yes.
We love them, we respect them, but I disagree with them when it comes to their assessment of Silver Spring State Park. And my theory is they don't go. My theory is they don't go. So Nicky Aiken is here. Good morning, Nicky.
Hello, how are you?
Good. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
How long have you been with the state park? You look so young.
Well, thank you. Keep telling me that. I have, I was with AmeriCorps for 2 years, and I don't know if you're familiar with that program, but they have a really neat program where folks get to work with the state parks and achieve various goals. For me, it was a lot of invasive exotic removal, as well as...
Invasive exotic removal?
Correct. So plants...
That's cool.
Yeah, plants that don't belong and that take over. And
plants, not animals.
Do damage. For me, it was mostly plants. There are animals too, which can lead us nicely into the topic I know you want to talk about. However, I did that. Basically, that's my background. I did 2 years in AmeriCorps, and then I started full time with the Park Service in 2005. I worked at Kissimmee Prairie Preserve, Ravine Garden State Park.
We love that park.
That's a beautiful one.
Yeah, that was my first one, in fact.
Yeah.
Also, Rainbow Springs State Park, not too far away from here.
Beautiful.
And Silver.
Yeah. Do you know I worked there when that was a theme park? I used to fill the vending machines.
Yeah, it's kind of a similar vibe for Silver. In fact, the state of Florida has many what were former roadside attractions, and some of them are Homosassa, Weeki Wachee, Rainbow Springs, Silver. Right. So it's kind of a neat trail that you can do.
And they're all beautiful, and they all have their own personalities. And I'm telling you, if you're just going someplace you want to walk and have a beautiful place, Silver Spring, it's incomparable. That boardwalk you built is just beautiful.
Yeah.
I love the new boardwalk.
Yeah.
And I can't tell you how many times I've heard these people say, the boardwalk is falling apart. What do you mean it's falling apart? It's brand new. It's brand new. I don't understand. And why the political angle on it, I don't know. You know what it is they want? They want to see business there. They want to see a restaurant in there. They want to see all that stuff.
Sure. Well, it's kind of an interesting state park. We have so much variety. We have almost 5,000 acres, and we do have private business on property as well, and that is our concessionaire. We have a recent new concessionaire. They're called Cape Leisure. They have a few other concessions within the park system. They're working on, there is a restaurant. You can get food. They also handle the rentals of canoe and kayaks, as well as the state of Florida owns the boats, but they do all of the boat captains
and
run the boats.
I didn't know that.
Like that. Yeah.
I didn't know. Is Connie Mann Connie Mann works over at the.
She is with us.
Silver
yes.
River.
She's with the Silver. What do we call the old side? Do we still call that the Silver River?
It's all one state park.
It's all Silver Springs.
Yep, it's all Silver Springs State
Okay.
Park. So what was the former Silver River? When we, I hate the term took over Silver Springs.
Right.
But when we acquired Silver Springs as part of the state park, it was only 250 acres. And so people feel like we've grown substantially, which we have, but not technically in size. I mean, that's pretty small, in comparison to what the park has now.
Yeah.
So.
But I think because people think of Silver Springs as an attraction with the bears and with the giraffes and with the Jeep ride. By the way, we walked the old Jeep ride trail.
Yes.
That was fun to walk that old trail.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks. We're trying very hard. We have a mission in the Park Service. It's to provide resource-based recreation. So that's the first part, while preserving, interpreting, and restoring Florida's natural and cultural resources. So we recognize Silver Springs as a whole as being a cultural resource for the state of Florida.
Yeah.
And so although we're not running Jeep rides through there because the area is pretty disturbed and it needs a lot of rehabilitation.
But that wouldn't be a state park then. To
Right.
me, I mean,
Correct.
the boats make sense.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But we honor that history. We have some of those original Jeeps and some of the original trams. And on the first Sunday of each month, we do several tram rides a day. So, even though we can't do a tram ride every single day, we still want to make
What
sure
is a
those
tram ride?
opportunities
What
are
is
there.
that?
Well, we take you through a lot of the, particularly the uplands, so the sandhill systems where you can see deer and turkey and go for tortoise and hopefully fox, squirrel, stuff like
Well,
that.
I want to do this. I didn't know you did that.
It's free. You just have to call and sign up.
The first Sunday.
First Sunday of the month. Yeah,
Okay.
definitely check us out online at floridastateparks.org. We have several ongoing different programs. We do ranger programs all the time, but then we have some partnership programs like the Pack Walk. Are you guys familiar with that?
No.
No, what is that?
Well, we got together with Marion County Animal Shelter, and once a month they bring out a whole busload of dogs, which is about 20 dogs. Yeah.
Oh, the Pack Walk.
The Pack Walk.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, we post those press releases
Great.
on the Facebook
Excellent.
site.
Yeah,
Facebook page.
it's really adorable. You can bring your own dog and walk with a ranger, or you can walk a shelter dog. And although we do get some adoptions, the point is actually to get the dogs socialized and exercised. And we do a little walk
Socialized
around
and
the garden.
exercise. That's what I need.
There you go.
Do you know why we went to state parks, by the way, when we were doing the paintings? Because my dog, who's now gone, I wanted to bring her.
Yes.
And so state parks in the state of Florida allow dogs.
Yes, yeah. Just not for us, not in the buildings or on the boats, but
I think the only one was Wiki Wachi, right? Because the girls in the water,
There is
they
one
don't-
other.
they get scared of the Doberman and stuff.
Homosassa because of all the captive animals.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And you're
but
on a
Wiki Wachi
boardwalk.
too, right? They don't allow dogs.
I don't think they do.
No.
Maybe call and check on that though before you go.
I was
over there.
making a joke. But, all right. So let's talk about the monkeys.
Okay.
All right, here's how the monkey thing started with me. There was a young boy at Silver Springs, and he had his camera, and he's saying, "Oh my gosh, there's monkeys." Did you see this video?
I did,
Okay.
yes.
Did you see them? Oh my gosh, there's monkeys. And then, oh, there's baby monkeys, and they're walking toward the baby monkeys, and all of a sudden, oh my God, they're attacking us. Now, they never did attack them. The kid was saying they are, but the kid was a kid. He was giggling. Grandpa, meanwhile, you can hear him going, and anybody who watches the video thinks, oh my God, there's a monkey on this kid's back.
Yes.
But I knew there was no, because otherwise this kid wouldn't be laughing. And what the monkeys were doing was they were taking a defensive posture.
Sure.
Because they had babies. Well, of course.
And to be perfectly honest, although we have plenty of signs and we tell everybody and we do all we can to educate folks, which is our big push, is education. A lot of people probably fed these monkeys before, and so the monkeys most likely approached folks in hopes of getting food, and then of course they didn't feed them, so the situation was what you saw. We're working with FWC for a very long time. We've been on the educational push. Please don't feed them, and this is why. And
Right.
explained, it disturbs their social behaviors, and it's dangerous.
But all the state parks have said that same thing about the bears, about the alligators.
Yes.
The only thing they allow to feed is the fish. It seems like, yeah. The raccoons are supposed to be leave them alone. Don't touch them.
Leave them all alone. All of them. Yes.
Yeah.
A lot of folks think when they come, or they get the impression, I should say, that when they come to state parks, because some of the pathways are paved or whatever, that it's not necessarily the same as going out into Ocala National Forest.
Right,
but it
right,
is.
right.
It's 5,000 acres, and we're not able to train these animals to behave like we might want them to. So,
and this was like back in the 70s. Even though the Springs was an attraction, I was there with my family. There was a fellow there with his wife and kids, and he was trying to tell the daughter this alligator came up on the grass and was sunning himself. Yes. No mouth open, closed, but laying there. And he was telling the daughter, the little girl about 6 years old, to get close to the alligator so he can get a picture.
Yeah.
Now, there are signs posted all over the place. Where are the common sense for all of the people?
And a lot of people think alligators are slow, and that is completely incorrect. Alligators are actually really fast and can run very fast for short distances. They can also jump really far out of the water. A lot of people don't really associate them with being able to do that as well. So just, extreme caution anytime you're in a natural environment. In fact, I Googled this, one of the biggest animal attacks that we see in the U.S. are squirrel attacks.
Really?
Yeah, squirrel bites are the biggest.
I had no idea.
Because everybody tries to feed squirrels and chipmunks, and so that's an issue. It's the same. We need to be cautious around these animals, and they are not from Tarzan. I would add that, if you don't mind.
No, not at all.
They are not from the Tarzan movies.
Oh, they're not?
No.
See, I actually thought they were. Now, where are they from?
Colonel Toohey introduced them, I believe, in the late 20s. It might have been 30s. Colonel Toohey.
Colonel Toohey
thought that they would be a fine attraction for people on the boats to go by. We call it Monkey Island. Of course, rhesus macaques, which are what these are, they swim. So the monkeys immediately swam off of the island, and he brought in more. And so there were two sets of monkeys that were brought in. I think they were like a dozen or less at the time. And of course, they're extremely adaptable and did really well in this area.
The newspaper says there's only 200 of them. Since the 1920s, there must be a larger population than that.
Well, they believe in this area it's about 200, and that's an estimation from the best that the researchers could do with cameras and things like that. We do know, that some of them have spread. You hear the reports about them in Apopka or in Tampa, things like that.
Yeah, there was one at the Star Banner.
Oh yeah,
in the parking lot.
yeah. That's not great. So. There have in the past been efforts to reduce the population, and so that's why the numbers are as small as they are right now.
Oh, really?
So it's a hot topic. A lot of people feel really strongly both ways, whether the monkeys should just be left to live or whether they should be removed.
But then you would have people saying, "What about all the other animals?" I don't know.
Yeah.
Is it because they're non-native?
They are indeed. They are not native. It is debatable also. There needs to be more research, which is part of what FWC was already doing before this video blew up. They're attempting to get some real hard data, which is great.
All right. On the other side of the break, let's take that break right now, and we'll be right back. Thank you, Dan, for fixing the computer. All right, we will be right back. In the studio, Nicky Aiken is allowing us to have a half hour of her time, and I'm sure more than that because she had to drive over here. She's one of the park rangers over at Silver Spring State Park, answering some of the questions we've had, but we honestly did not invite Nicky since the monkey story. It was before the monkey story because we wanted to kind of let you know what we've been trying to say, Robin and I have been trying to say all along, is that you have the beautiful park. Don't let these radio guys convince you who have never gone or are looking at these YouTube videos where they were focusing on the mud or something. I don't know what they were focusing their cameras on. It's manicured. You guys cut the grass. It's beautiful. Oh, my gosh. Thank you for coming in. We'll be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. On this Tuesday, a mix of sun and clouds. There could be a shower or two near the coast this morning, and look for a thunderstorm in spots over the interior during the late morning and afternoon hours. Today's high 89 at the coast, 93 inland. Mainly clear to tonight. There can be a stray thunderstorm, though, especially early, though 72 inland, 79 at the coast. For Wednesday, clouds and sun with an afternoon thunderstorm, the high 88 to 92. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Joe Lundberg.
Robin, how do you like my design?
You're designing a box?
That's not a box. It's a doghouse.
Rough draft for your rough? Sounds like you need personal service.
I do?
Yes, to print the blueprints. See Mark at the Personal Service Center. He can print blueprints, notarize permit applications, print and mail out invoices, and even provide great-looking business cards.
Personal Service Center. That's the one on the corner of Northeast 25th Avenue and 24th Street, right?
Just look for the yellow signs. Your pedigree palace will be a reality in no time.
That was the sound of a tree falling. It could be your tree. You're going to have it trimmed, but never got around to calling Pride Tree Service. It could have fallen in a field, and now all you have to do is call Pride Tree Service, and they'll have it quickly out of the way for a great price. But don't wait until the tree falls. It may not fall in the field. It may hit your car, your house, or worse. So call Pride Tree Service today and avoid all those headaches before they happen. Pride Tree Service, 572-2510. That's 572-2510.
Hey Ocala, this is Kelly Hart, Executive Editor of Ocala Magazine. Did you know last year Ocala Magazine won more awards in excellence than any other publication in Florida? And this year, Ocala Magazine was named Best Consumer Magazine in the state. Now you can join me every Friday at 10 a.m. on Ocala Magazine Radio, where we bring the pages of Ocala Magazine to life, right here on The Source. Ocala Magazine thanks you for making us number one. And remember, there is only one Ocala Magazine.
All right, 10 minutes before 11 o'clock. Time flies. I'm going to try to stay away from the monkey story. Nicky did a really good job of explaining about the monkeys, and there's so much more to talk about over at Silver Spring. It is a beautiful park. What it was is not what it is, and nobody should expect it to be what it was.
Correct.
But anyway, so tell us what's new over there.
Okay, well, I do have some kind of interesting numbers that you might enjoy.
Yeah.
We started out in 2014-15 with 459,000 visitors a year. It went down a little in 15-16. We had our campground closed, and now there are...
In 2015, okay.
We had our campground closed to do some upgrades. So now there's some sewer and water at sites that didn't have it before. We've got 60 campsites. We've got 10 beautiful luxury cabins. If you haven't seen those, they're beautiful.
I want to see one. I've heard about them. Yeah.
And we've got a great partnership with the Marion County School System, with the Silver River Museum on site as well, with the Florida Pioneer Cracker Village, also very cool. Open on weekends, that is. But this year, we raised our visitor number up to 480,000 visitors a year, which is pretty cool.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. Without much, to be honest, push in advertisements. This is a lot of folks that are they're hearing it. They're hearing the message. It's not an attraction. It's only $2 a person to walk in. So if you park and walk in, it's $2. You can't beat that. If you drive in, it's $8 for up to 8 people in the van. So, I mean, it's $1 a person at that point. It's a great deal. There is a charge for the glass bottom boat rides, but that's separate. You can take it or not take it. So people are starting to get the message, and that's great. We really love it. We have over 100 volunteers, which donated over 16,000 hours, which is amazing.
Wow.
That is
amazing.
truly amazing. We thank them so much. Our citizen support organization does a 5K every year. So the Critter Trail 5K is in October, coming up if anybody wants to run it. They're also doing raffle donation tickets and things like that. And they're looking for new faces to join the team. So if anybody wants to volunteer and be part of the Friends group, can check it out on Facebook or online. Friends of Silver Spring State Park. Like I said, we do have several ongoing events. One is the Pack Walk. We have a drum circle that we do on the 4th Friday of each month.
Nice.
We'd like to get more participation in that. Ocala Drums does that for us. They host that. They're awesome.
Wow.
Love them. And we also do Pickin' in the Park. So for folks like you, come on out on Pickin' in the Park days. It's really just a jam session, which is great.
The third Sunday.
It is, yes, yeah. We try to do things on weekends for folks. Our new concessionaire is going to be looking for musicians that want to come in and play on weekends just to entertain visitors. So we're moving forward and honoring kind of that cultural aspect there.
Nice.
And a really cool thing that happened for all Florida state parks is that Florida foster families can now get a free annual pass.
Oh.
Yeah. Which
I
is
heard
great.
this. Yes,
yeah,
yes,
we're
yes.
really excited about that. They can also get 50% off on a camping discount as well. So there is some paperwork that they'll need to bring in. And it's the same with the seniors get 50% off of camping, as well as we've got veterans cards that range from like 25% off to totally free, depending on their level. So check that out online too. Yeah.
How old do you have to be a senior?
We're equal opportunity chargers, so there's no reduction in the actual entrance, but it is half off of camping. So yeah.
We have a phone call. Let's take that call. Good morning. Thank you for calling. You're on the air with Nicky Aiken.
Yes, thank you. Do you have any idea when they're going to start tearing down Wild Waters that's been not functioning for over a year now? And do you have any idea what they're going to do with that area?
Well, we are right at a year now. We did promise to run it for 3 years, which we did. Put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into it to make sure it functioned for those 3 years. We have been slowly taking, with volunteers and with staff, taking pieces down. There's definitely some stuff we want to make sure we save and honor, as well as recycle anything we can. We really try to make an effort to be as green as possible within the park. So it technically has kind of already started. What will happen next, there'll be a bid that goes out. It's open to the public to bid on. And normally part of the bid process is that the people bidding on the deconstruction say, I want these materials to take back with me. And then they'll actually reuse or recycle those materials as well. So that's part of the bid normally. I know that only answers probably part of your question of what you're getting at, but I'm not entirely sure when that date is going to come out for the bid for that.
Okay, so slowly it's going away. And what other water parks are bidding on the slides and things like that?
It's a possibility
okay.
That other parks may want to bid on it. It's really more of the deconstruction.
And once it's all down, what will happen to that property?
So it's an interesting question. We're not entirely sure. There have been a lot of different ideas of what should happen there. But kind of the nicest, sweetest one, if you will, I think is a really nice idea, is making silver really part of a gateway. So a gateway that provides information for opportunities both in town and then as you head towards the forest, because there are a ton of recreational opportunities in Marion County. And, I think both the county, the city, the state, we're looking for a way to showcase that. And so whether it's that particular piece of land or something near there, it's likely that there'll be some sort of welcoming gateway to, both town.
Gotcha. Yeah. Well, that sounds a good idea.
Yeah.
All right, let's take another phone call. Good morning. You're on the air with Nicky Aiken. Hello? No way there. Okay. I mean, we brag about it. We love it. It's obvious you're doing a lot of work there. Is the boardwalk open right now? That's closed because of the monkey situation, right?
It is, yeah. And then if folks aren't aware, Ross Allen Boardwalk, which was what it was called before, our acquisition, it was in pretty poor shape. But our biggest issue was that it wasn't ADA, it wasn't.
But that was the old one.
That's correct. So
that's gone, right? Completely?
It's gone, yeah. So this is within the same footprint, basically, of the old Ross Allen Boardwalk. It is currently closed. We do, when we can, because we don't have that many staff members. They're trying to clean cabins and the campsites and all the other stuff that has to get done too, fire line prep, that kind of thing. But when we can, we'll give guided tours on the island.
Do you know what I want to ask? Is there a walking path between what we used to call the Silver River State Park and Silver Springs?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a blue trail that runs directly from the Ross Allen Boardwalk, in fact, right past Canoe and Kayak and into the beautiful upland systems. You could also pick up a few spur trails from there to see overlooks of the river, things like that.
Okay, repeat what you said, the Appaloon systems?
Upland, I'm sorry.
Oh, the upland systems.
Upland
And what is
systems.
that? What is the upland systems?
Sandhill and Flatwoods. And
is that where you see the deer and everything?
That is going to be where you see all those things.
Oh, so we could walk up. Yeah. Now, are we in any danger of somebody coming at us, like a bear or something?
You would be very lucky if you saw a bear, and chances are it would be running away from you when you saw it. They don't typically like to be around people, and at least the ones that are within the park.
And would we have a map?
Yeah,
So we
definitely
don't get
pick up a map,
lost?
take water, make sure you have good shoes, wear sunscreen, bug spray, all the normal standard protection.
I love it. I mean, we have two beautiful parks in Marion County, two beautiful state parks.
State parks, yeah.
And the state itself does such a great job with her parks. Is it okay to say her parks? It's parks.
I would say
the
her
parks.
parks.
Yeah, it's just so beautiful.
Well, and additionally, it's now part of the state park system is the greenways and trails. So all of the biking trails, the fishing areas, all of that's all state park now too.
Oh,
Can you
how
bicycle at
wonderful.
Silver Springs?
You can bike at Silver Springs. If you're camping with us and you aren't into really pushing it through sandy trails and stuff like that,
Oh, that's hard.
There's
Yeah.
a beautiful sidewalk that goes all the way, from what was the old camping side.
There is?
Yeah. It runs right next to 35. It's wide. It's very lovely. So you could
Wow.
take the sidewalk as
I
well.
had no idea. I had no idea. You are a delight. Nikki, thank you for taking your time to be with us today.
Thanks for having me.
And we will be back. We'll be back at Silver Springs for
All
sure.
right, great.
Sure. And thank you for helping us understand the monkey situation as well.
Okay, and if I could put in one last plug,
Sure.
we're definitely looking for artists and exhibitors and vendors for our Florida Springs Festival. So if you know of any folks that have nature-related art or music, we're looking for those folks. So
When is that? When is the festival?
the Springs Festival is the first full weekend in March, which for this year is going to be the 3rd and 4th.
Okay, and then we can go to your website.
Florida Springs Fest is the name of it, and you can check us out on Facebook. It's Florida Space Springs Fest, one word.
Oh, okay, excellent.
We would love it. We want a big show from the community this year.
Oh, absolutely. We've got an audience that probably will jump on that right away.
Excellent.
Nikki Aiken, thank you again.
Thank you, guys.
We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Claimed to have none, adding it's possible the Trump team was looking for damage.